Hi there, Marge here from A Rose Grows from Harlem. Today is February 6th and things are waking up in the garden. It's been a really long time since I've done this. I think the last time I recorded was probably for a short, but I've not done a 2024 review of what's been going on in the garden. So that's what's happening today. So let's go take a look. All right, here we go. By now, you should have seen my Dirt Locker saga videos. I probably have not gotten them all up yet, but I needed to do a review video and the critters are all over the place. But I need to show you that everybody is sleeping right now. All of my trees are sleeping. I still have my greenhouse over there. And we are making a cat condo. My boyfriend put together this mini deck. And that's the shed I was supposed to use for my garden tools, but I decided that it's probably better used for a cat shelter when it gets really cold. But you are here for the plants. So let's take a look. Now, everything is in a different location, so I apologize for that if you are familiar with the things of where they used to be. So I will name all of the different trees. These are my peaches, which they're beautiful and green. Looking very good, sleeping still. These babies are good, they know when the temperature is right. This is my Belle of Georgia. I have a Red Haven and alluring peach tree. Those are my peaches. This is the bulb planting, the bulb lasagna planter. This is, I think, a 30-gallon, which, as you will see shortly, I have many of my trees in, but they are slowly going to be moved to something else. Let's see, we have, this is a dormant lantana. I have some fire nandinas over there. That is another dormant lantana. This was lemon balm. We'll wait to see if that comes back. You'll see some mums. I don't know if they're coming back. We've had some crazy weather with some frost. There are cats that might run through the yard, so I apologize for that. There's more lemon balm. These are my strawberries. That's the Italian, and I think it's Aaron, not alum. So I don't know, we'll see. I will go over all the plants once everything is properly put into their place in the dirt lockers. These are my plum trees that I put in 15-gallon bags. That is my preferred method. It gives a good space in the dirt locker and it gives the tree its own unique environment. And then I can put them close together and keep them properly pruned, and then that will be very well kept. It looks like someone has been digging. Someone's definitely been digging. Here are more strawberries. These over here are my blueberry plants. They are going into their own 15-gallon bags as well. This is my beautiful green Granny Smith apple tree. That's nice and sleeping. Over here we have some more white lantana. That is my rose over here. And this right here, I believe, is my blackberry. Yes, this is my Arapaho thornless blackberry. Some more mums, and I have some lantana over there. Let's see if I can go this way. Try not to disturb all of the mosquitoes and things that are back here. This is another shot of the garden. Let's see, this over here, these are my cherry trees. This is my valiant elderberry, which is starting to wake up. This is something that I was looking into after Georgia Peachnut had mentioned that there is actually spray to keep your trees dormant until it's time, because our frosts are not over yet. They're just beginning. February is a pretty cold month here. Over here are my sad grapes. And I hope to have the trellis that is enough for these beauties. That plant here would have given me grapes last year, but I plucked them off so that it could grow the vine. And this one came back. There's one over there that I don't think survived. But 2 grape plants are more than enough, and I can also propagate one of those vines there. So this over here, I believe one of these is a privet and the other one is some other kind of bush. I'm keeping it for right now because that is the bird feeder. I put hot bird food. It's just seeds that are covered in like a cayenne pepper so that the squirrels don't eat that, but the birds do. And then over here, that's also what the slinkies are trying to do, is to deter the squirrels. We definitely need to re-up. This feeder is what I use for the mealworms. I give them dry mealworms, and I just filled that last week, so we're already ready to fill that up again. This sock is supposed to be for the finches, but I see other birds eating it, which is why there are holes in there, because the bigger birds eat whatever seeds are in there. And this thing here is used for brick bird feed. I guess a block of bird food, which is just seeds and other things you could see in there. And the squirrels come and eat that if I don't put hot bird food in there. This is my pineapple guava. I have its mate in the front yard, and I will put them both back here. I have tried to mark this area here because I don't have a dirt locker there yet, but I do have a sleeping lantana plant. So that's there. I try not to step on it. Over here, this should be the Braeburn apple. That's dormant. There was another apple tree. Oh no. Oh, okay, that's the Granny Smith that died. That's okay. But this one, oh, the Red Delicious was also not good. The Red Delicious also did not do well in this environment, and this should be my crabapple tree. Yes, my Dolgo crabapple. And this one, I think, had no name, but it was growing. So we'll see how that does this year. This is my store-bought blackberry. That's doing well. It's sleeping right now. Over here is a mix of bird food that I left outside by accident, and it started to grow, so I just threw the rest of the seeds into a pot and let it grow so that the birds can get natural food from there. I'm not going back there, but that is a walnut tree One of them survived, one of them did not, so in order to get walnuts you need 2 trees, so I will probably get another walnut tree this year. This is my pecan. Pecan, say what you will. That is starting to bud, which is not ideal, but let me see if I can get that close up. Look at that, gorgeous. That is my pecan tree. For those of you that are new, this is dug at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half in the ground, and then I added more dirt with this because the roots of a pecan tree are absolutely ridiculous. These trees over here are random. I have no idea what they are, and they probably just fell out of the air or some bird or something. But those are not by design. So I keep them because the birds like to go in there as cover, and it's on the side of the fence, so I might just leave them there so long as it doesn't infringe upon my pecan tree. And I do have to watch out for the Juro spiders because they love making their webs there. Then we have this baby over here, which should be another elderberry. Yes, this is just labeled elderberry. And again, the elderberries are happy to start waking up, which you really shouldn't, guys. It's not time. It's not time yet. That over there is a rose. That is not necessarily doing anything, but I decided to leave it there just in case. These here are my other apple trees, if I am correct. Let's see if we can get those names. Yes, this one is a Gala apple. This one is my Macintosh. That one is a crabapple tree. That one is a Golden Delicious. And this one, I believe, is my Arkansas Black, which is done. This is the best. This is done the best. And because of these long stalks, because they have done so well, and because the stalks are so long, I may air layer. So I may go like to here and air layer here. That I have to do this weekend because I have to get started now. Otherwise, I'll never do it. Okay. Over here, we have, this is my Dolly Parton rose, I believe. We have my pears over here. And these are also doing incredibly well. They're beautiful. And I have Moon Glow, Kefir, Hood Pear, and I think it was a Lacoste. No, I think that's something else. LeConte. I was close. I was so close. I'm almost getting them all memorized. This is a white lantana that is mounding, I believe they say. And here we are back at the other side. That's the Fire Nandina and the lantana. This over here is my, I think this is my apricot. Nectarine. This was my nectarine tree that decided it wanted to sprout from the rootstock rather than what was grafted. And because I am not, nectarines are all right, I just wanted something different. I was like, I'll leave it and see what happens. Here are my sleeping kiwi trees. Now this one was grafted. Some of this, yes, it's still pliable, so it's not dead, it's just sleeping. So this was grafted so that there is a male and a female part of the plant. So I just took the tendrils and just weaved it into this here. And all of these trees that you see, all of the trees I will be putting into spaces within the dirt locker. So if you pretended that this was a grow bag, or I might even end up using these containers or containers like this, as so long as it fits in this area, because the trees, if I want to move them, I may not put them in the ground because I don't want too much disturbance of the roots. So I will probably just put them in grow bags and put them in there. Now, things that are fast growing or that I don't mind leaving behind because I do intend to move at some point in time, those I might put in the ground. Like my blueberries, those are really easy to grow. All the flowers will go in the ground. None of the flowers will be in planters because the whole point of this is to do permaculture. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me go through the rest. There's some more strawberries. There's some mums. The strawberries over there. Some more strawberries over here. I thought it would be cute to like this right here. This line is a pathway. That line over here may be a pathway. So I would like to line the pathways with strawberries. That looks like fire ants maybe. So I will have to think about the walkways. This is my attempt here to do a fountain or a bird bath. And what I'll end up doing is underneath here, I will have a bucket, one of these planters here. I will put that in there to fill up with water and then feed the water up through here and then let that come out with the pumps that I've shown in previous videos. I'll probably link it in a card so that you could see what I've done there. And yeah, still trying to do that a year later. But I'm getting there slowly. And then my pride and joy. These are my 4 olive trees, and I'm very excited to get them into the ground in their own planters so that they can do well because they're thriving here right now. I have the manzanillo. I have, oh, there's so many spider webs here. The mission olive. One of them is a kalamata, and the other one I think is a baroni or something like that. Yeah, but those are my olive trees, and look, still producing leaves, even now, in the middle of February. Beautiful. And the birds think I'm here to give them food, so I'm gonna have to refill. This here, I believe, is my serviceberry, or is this? Yes, this is my serviceberry. This is supposed to have beautiful white flowers when it buds. And I thought when I first got it that it was dead, but then just like now, I noticed that these buds started to separate from the branch here, and then it comes out into these beautiful, beautiful leaves. Okay, let's see. Over here, I believe this is my pawpaw tree here. That is my apricot, and this is another apple tree that has done brilliantly. Unfortunately, I don't have the name because the label fell off and I couldn't find it in the box. So that is a surprise apple tree. So who knows, maybe I will also cut that here and then make a new apple tree out of that, because all the trees that are doing really well, it just makes sense to continue to grow those types of trees. And I think that covered everything here. Yep, that's everything on the outside. Did I do my pears? I did my other things. I have another elderberry over there. Let's look at that before we go into the greenhouse. Also trying to make sure that there is no cat poop where I've stepped. Oh yes, this is my other elderberry. And you know how you can tell? Because the leaves have started to come up. Yeah. Okay, and this is the little setup I have for the squirrels. You can see how much they've they've abused this bench. I've had to zip tie it here. This is falling off. No, I don't blame the squirrels. I blame the discount store where I got it from. I won't say where, but it was worth it because it feeds them and they don't care if it's broken or not. So let's go into the greenhouse. Oh, and here's my cute little flag that I fly every day because cats. I love them, and that's every cat that we have around here looks like that. And it's always Halloween here, always. Okay, so this is the setup. This is the setup that I have for the greenhouse. It's so different and a lot of things have died. So I was actually editing a video today of trying to get all of my plants into the greenhouse to make sure that they were safe when the frost came. So that was good. It worked for the first night. It worked for the next nights where it was gonna dip down to the 30s, maybe even the 20s. And then, you know, by the next day, by noon, it would be into the 40s or 50s. Well, if you have a frost that's longer than that, or it's weeks at a time, or you have an entire week of really cold, freezing weather, you need more than this. So I did the best that I could. I ended up getting these foam sheets. And, you know, I thought they're about, I don't know, what is that? Like an inch thick. It's styrofoam. It's meant to be put, you know, in the walls of your house to keep everything warm. And I ended up using the Reflectix, and it really didn't do anything. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. I learned a lot about not thermodynamics, but just the weather and why it's so important to have an insulated house. You think about it, you know about it. You know that if you want to have a warm house in the winter, you keep your windows closed, you make sure that all of your insulation is up to date, and you do whatever you can to keep it warm, right? Well, it's the same freaking thing for a greenhouse, and having a thin plastic layer over a metal frame is not going to keep anything warm. Sheds are the next best thing, but if you can keep them inside in a house where there's some kind of temperature regulation, or even if it's just enclosed and insulated, keeping out the extreme weather, that's better than nothing. So most of these things died, but the things that I really cared about are either struggling or are okay. So I'll show you those now. Okay, I probably should have this on a tripod, but let's see. Okay, so this used to be citronella, my mandavillas. This used to be coneflowers and zinnias. This used to be, those are definitely zinnias over there. Those used to be the bell flowers. That is my lemon lime tree. It's hanging in there. It's hanging in there. And I think what I'm gonna end up doing next year is I will just bring it inside. If I don't have a proper greenhouse area, I will probably just bring it inside. All down there was the purslane and the other things, and I literally, like, I wanted to release this video today, or at least this week, because I released the other one to show you what lengths I went to try to put the frost, or, you know, to try to protect these things from the frost. And here's my wasabi coleus, which is dead, but the important things are still alive, like the lemon lime cocktail tree, and this lemon lime cocktail tree, and my bay leaves. My bay leaves didn't give a flying beep. My bay leaves are fine. They are fine. So wherever I read that they did not take well to the cold climate, they are fine here. Everything else died, but these guys were fine. So I'll leave it like that for now, and anything that's super sensitive, I will just put in the house. Now, let's see, I'll come out this way and show you what this looks like from here. These are the cat houses that I created. I won't go into too much detail, but I basically just cut holes in these containers that were on sale. I put some straw in there and some Reflectix, and I covered it with these styrofoam pipe insulators so that the cats had someplace warm to stay that was dry. I mean, the ground was not dry, but they wouldn't get rained on, so that's all I cared about. But the backyard so far is coming along pretty well. I am pleased with how it's going so far, and we're definitely getting visited by birds. So I will go ahead and feed them, and then we'll go over to the front yard. Here we are at the side yard. This is the sad state of winter, but good for birds and other animals that like seeds and things. Many things are dormant. Now you can see everything that was happening underneath all of that foliage. Look at that hole. That's where the chipmunks probably go into and out of, in this mound of dirt over here. That is another one of the cat houses we set up when the first night was really cold. And this right here is where we had the coneflowers. And some of them are starting to come up in the back over there. They're trying, but that might be weeds. Sometimes it's hard to tell between the two. I think the coneflowers have a much softer leaf. They're fuzzier. But I should have some echinacea, some sunset and other coneflowers. And there are some cats that are trying to escape over there. Here are my raised beds. Everything in here is dead, pretty much. I will take out the my makeshift oyas and basically just have the entire area for planting. And I will probably implement my square foot gardening that I did a few years back. That seemed to do really well. I did it for potatoes, and potatoes will grow anywhere here, so that's fun. So I had marigolds, peas, and what else did I have over here? Mushrooms, obviously. But that's what I had over there. Over here I had my watermelons. I tried to grow peppers, but I definitely have to start those inside and make sure they are strong and capable of handling caterpillars, because the caterpillars will decimate the seedlings here. And I can also prevent that by using some row cover with some tulle, which I might invest in, but we'll see. Over there I started some things, but that just became like a second bed for this trailing watermelon that was over here. And these are I have ginger over here and turmeric over there. Now I left them in the ground because I didn't have a means to harvest them in a good way. So this weekend I plan to dig out whatever is left, because I have this here, and you'll see I have the onions over there, but I'll get there eventually. Over here, all of the weeds have died back, so you can see what truly stands out here, which is the mint, which was here before I started. This is the rescue blueberry plant, and because this is, I don't know, it's kind of brittle. This could definitely be dead, but I'm leaving it for the springtime to see what happens. It still has buds, so I have high hopes for it. That is a fire nandina that I grew from the cuttings of when I trimmed them 3 years ago. Fire nandina is a beautiful bush. It's lush and green in the springtime, in the summertime, and anytime it's growing, it's lush and green. And then in the fall and winter, it gets to be this beautiful red color. These are turning right now because it's starting to go between cold and warm. But when it's warm, it's green, and when it's cold, it's red. And it's a beautiful, I think it's in the evergreen family. I'll have to look that up, but it's great. But this mint, it's wonderful, and it grows everywhere, and trying to get rid of it is a pain in the butt. That RIP rosemary bush, I had 3 of them. I took 2 away, and I was like, yeah, I'll just keep 1. I never use rosemary, people, never. So that's probably coming out. And I am debating on whether or not to do grow bags here or to do another one of these. I think I'll end up doing grow bags because it'll actually take less soil to fill them up. And then I want this to be probably my tea garden. So I'll have some blueberries, I'll have the mint, and I do want to get a tea plant to put in here. We'll come over here, and I know that a lot of people mention that they don't have a lot of luck with their compost bin in the wintertime, but I must be doing something right, because if I put something down, the heap will go down at least an inch or two by the next day, even in the wintertime. I mean, the big things that it's trying to break down, like these big, whatchamacallit, like that cardboard paper over there, this big bag full of paper, it's not breaking that down. But if I had shredded it like that, it breaks down almost immediately. And I just need to add some greens. I don't even bother doing the ratio. If I have greens, I put greens in there. If I have browns, I put browns in there. And that looks like, that looks like leaves for a sweet potato, I think. Or at least the color reminds me of a sweet potato. I don't know. If anybody knows what that is, let me know, because I'm not sure. But over here, we have a lot of weeds. All of these are weeds. I will probably just snip them and let them go back into the soil. These are my strawberries, and they have not died. They don't care about the frost. They're just here and doing whatever they want to do. So they are there. These are the onions that I moved. I have not harvested them yet. So like I said before, this weekend I don't even want to peek because I want to be completely surprised. But I can't help but, I mean, these are friggin' huge. Look at how, that's my finger and it's bigger than my finger. So I will get to these this weekend. I will harvest these, my ginger and my turmeric over there. Now over here, this is where I had my oregano. I had some pumpkins over there. Not that they didn't have time to grow into pumpkins, but I did have the little fruit that started. That's what you could see up here, this here. So my oregano is already starting to come back. So the oregano is already there. And I also had some volunteer basil, which will probably come back in the summertime. The basil loves the heat. Okay, now for this. This is where I had wanted to start my tomatoes. And I learned that in this area, grow bags are not ideal because they dry out too fast, because this side of the house, this is south facing. So this is the house, the sun comes in from there. So it rises over there, comes up over, and then comes back down this way. So it gets like high morning sun, or is that late morning sun, all the way to the afternoon. There's like a tree over here. I'm trying not to show the neighbor's yard, but there's a tree right over here which blocks it from about like 1 to 2 depending on the time of year. And then you've got this fence, so the fence also blocks it depending on the time of year. So my tomatoes loved this spot right here. So this space here and then this here is perfect for growing sun-loving plants. And what I intend to do is I did buy, I thought they were on sale, but they weren't when I got to the register. So I said, whatever, I'll pick them up anyway. I got another raised bed that I'm just gonna use as a border. And then I believe I will put either plastic, like, you know, the containers, like the 5-gallon containers, I will put them there. But I don't think I'm going to use grow bags. I'm just going to use the containers, maybe self-watering containers. Maybe I'll use a mixture of these saucers here and containers, but definitely plastic because it dries out so quickly on this side of the yard. And this Rubbermaid had like the perfect retention of water. So I want to mimic that. I don't want to spend money on another one of these tubs though, because I bought something that was cheaper, and I'll probably just use grow bags or those containers like I said. Sorry, now I'm repeating myself because I'm kind of going over the same thing. But I will remove this. I'll end up putting this someplace else, and yeah, we'll figure out what goes next. Or I'm wondering if I should just keep it. And what grew well here? You know what? The beans grew really well here with this setup. So I think if you have plants that are not water hoggers, something that likes to get dry in between, that would fit well here. So I might just, you know, I'm gonna maximize my growing space as much as possible. So I might start bush beans or even vine beans and just leave these in here. We'll see how that goes. And I'm definitely taking these Oyas out as well. I don't need those either because they don't work the way they should, and they're not traditional terracotta pots, so that's fine. But that is the side yard. Let's go to the front. Okay, so this is the other fire Nandina that's all by itself. I am tempted to move it so that it's by the other fire Nandinas, but it's kind of holding together this whole slope, this whole hill. So maybe I'll just bring other plants here, but I'm not gonna touch it. This is how I had the setup in front of the windows on both sides, but I ended up moving this cheaply made, it's not even really a planter, it's just some cedar wood that some guy stapled together and sold for like $125, and I was foolish enough to buy it. So whatever, I just have a place to hold more grow bags. These are another attempt at bulb lasagna. I started about 2 years ago, but they come out early because the minute there's warmth, the bulbs start coming out and then they get damaged, poor babies. So I think this is some narcissus in there. There's some tulips and some other pretty flowers. This here, okay, so this is very exciting because this is where I planted my lemon balm. And you see how it's just like brittle and broken and dead? Well, if you look inside, it's coming back. So I'm very happy about that. These are my knockout roses, and they are probably being drained of all nutrients by these stupid weeds. I plan on replanting these anyway. I think I'm going to end up putting them in the front of the house. I will show you the containers that are out there. I had hibiscus in there, but I'll explain more later. This over here was where I had my peppermint plant. And this was a, oh man, I had so many plants over here. I had lantana in here, I had other things. This is a weed. It's beautiful and it's working, but it's a weed and it's drowning out all my other bulb plants that were supposed to be in there, as you can see. There were supposed to be bulbs in there too, but I think the squirrels ate them all. I have no idea. This is my other pineapple guava because I heard that they like to be in their own company. So I will eventually get that to the backyard, and I don't know if I'm going to have them along the fence or maybe by the bird food because I would like the animals to eat them because I don't eat guava. This is the feeding station for the cats. This is what I did with some of my pansy plants. There are also, okay, good, they are coming up. I was worried that, let's get closer. I was worried that my hyacinths would not, hyacinths? Yes, hyacinths wouldn't be able to get past these plants, but there they are. They come out about now. So that's a hyacinth right there. I think I have like 6 in here. I don't know, they should be coming up soon. But pansies and hyacinths, I just wanted something in between because the hyacinths come up and then they go. They're really fast. And the rest of these plants, we're like doing work in the garage, so sorry about the mess. But it's the same thing. It's bulb lasagna, also bulb lasagna, but the lemon balm is also coming in there. So that's exciting. That's really good. Another knockout rose that I'm going to move. And this one, is actually, the tulips are coming up, but I might just trash that whole thing because I think the cats have been pooping in there, so we'll see. Speaking of cats, this is one of my babies sleeping. I don't know if you could see him. He has no idea we're out here. He's adorable. I don't know if you could see him. There he is. That's my DG. This is what the cats do in the window on the outside. All right, let me bring you around to the front. Okay, here is the front yard. So this is what I was talking about. These are all the fire nandina. And these are the bushes that I moved from the front of the house to the front of the garage. And I love them. They're beautiful, and I like their natural crazy shape. They get rounded no matter what they do, but they're rounded in their own way, and I love to keep them that way. So this is a baby fire nandina that I tried to put here, and I think it just needs more food. So I will do that after I come back from my vacation. But this was a hibiscus. I keep replacing hyacinth for hibiscus, but this was a hibiscus. They said it was gonna survive, so hopefully it's just in need of really hot weather. I think I might replace it with my knockout roses to see how they do in those containers, but we'll see. Maybe they'll come back and I'll put some other plants in there. These are my poor gardenias who look like they tried to get flowers, but I think it got too cold. Either that or they bloomed while I wasn't here or outside. This is my camellia. It's also flash frozen. Our weather's been really crazy. It's another gardenia. I think they do better in the ground. I might end up planting them in the ground. We'll see. And that right there is another hibiscus that's gone. These were my dahlias, which are obviously annuals. My comeback every year, what is it called? What is it called? Dandelion. And that goes straight into the ground past that planter. This is my attempt at a bird fountain, and it's off right now because it was solid ice, so nothing was happening. These are my marigolds. I don't see any remnants of the daisies or the King's Edward Yarrow or whatever it was called, but every time this year my bulbs start to come up. And what inspired me to make this video was that I have my first bloom. Look at this beautiful baby. I love the shape of these plants, and they're so pretty, and I have more that are coming up here. That over there is another bulb lasagna, and it's starting to get noisy here, so I'll finish this up real quick. That's supposed to be another bulb lasagna, and that's supposed to be another lantana. That doesn't come out until the spring, when it's a little quieter. I mean warmer, sorry. But that's it for this week. Maybe for the month of February. Oh no, that's not true because I just said that I was gonna do some other things. Anyway, my mind is racing everywhere because there's so much to do, and I'm looking forward to starting and finishing some projects. So next weekend, I definitely want to harvest those plants over there, and then I want to air layer. I want to start air layering all of the apple trees that I have, the pear trees, anything that has done really well in this environment, because I'm excited that they actually like this area, because you can get plants that might say good for your zone or, you know, grows well between this zone and that zone, but everyone has multiple microclimates in their growing area, especially in their yards, because of the way the sun hits off the house or your apartment, the way, you know, something might hit the patio, the way the wind is. So everything does, you know, differently everywhere. So it's been a really cool experience to see what grows here, what does well, and I'm very excited to see what's going to come next. So thanks again for everybody for joining along. I might have some more promotional videos later on. I have some other people reaching out to me saying, hey, we love your content, we love your whatever. And the channel may be changing a little bit as far as those go, just to start bringing in some money. I mean, I don't make videos that get views. It's not meant to get views. So I will try to keep those as separate as possible. I am not making any of those videos as part of my playlists because I want you to be able to watch something, you know, uninterrupted. It's bad enough that YouTube has video, you know, ads anyway, but this is still for the purpose of documentation. But if someone reaches out and says, hey, do you want 10% off of these seeds? I'm gonna say yeah. But thank you everybody for your kind words, for your support, and even for watching, because just looking back, like I go back and watch these videos and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe, you know, I got through this. There was a certain time in my life, you know, maybe I wasn't having a great October, or maybe I wasn't having a great day, and I went out to the garden and I joined some of Broke Farmers live on Sundays, and you know, I had mentioned that sometimes I get burned out, and it's not the gardening that burns me out. It's I am putting probably too much on myself to get done in a certain amount of time, and I really need to start slowing down because I want to get everything done right away, and I want to have this, you know, lush garden and have everything, but it's having one plant that produces is fantastic. That is like an achievement in and of itself, and I should be thankful that I am able to nurture something and, you know, allow it to do what it's supposed to do naturally. And sometimes I just get really I just get really overwhelmed because I'm like, oh, I have to do everything right away. So I'm going to try to work on that, because anybody who's watching this, I don't want you to think that, you know, this is easy stuff. I don't want you to think that this is not hard work. I work full time. I have 3 cats at home. I live with my boyfriend, and I make most of the meals. I do our meal prep. I was making my own cat food, and then that's not even including my hobbies, my cosplaying, going to conventions, and doing other things. So there's a lot going on in my life, and then gardening. So finding time to do things and finding projects that are smaller that I can take bites out of and you know, finish them, I think that would be better for me. And I just want to document it to show like what's happening and, you know, what can be accomplished. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's a long way of saying thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.